Welcome back, boys and girls. It is week 12 of the college football season, and for reasons unbeknownst to us, you have found your way back to the Carla and Crappy Show. There's a thing I got to explain right off the top here. I would not ever refer to this as a Pittsburgh show, although our connections to Pittsburgh are undeniable. I mean, I've been here for more than 30 years now. AJ and Carla are both Western Pennsylvania natives who came to Pittsburgh to go to school.
Yep.
I mean, I got to know Carla because I was working at a Pittsburgh area newspaper with her. I got to know Dr. Scooter, which is one of AJ's very, very, very old Twitter handles.
Yeah.
Through the old Pittsburgh social media mafia back in the mid aughts.
So AJ and I went to school together.
Yeah, they went to school together. AJ and I live in Pittsburgh. AJ lives just outside of town. Carla lived here forever. I'm like a mile away from Acrisure Stadium. But there's a thing that
Hinesfield. You didn't pronounce that right. It's pronounced Hinesfield.
Thank you. I appreciate it. The mustard bowl is actually my preferred parlance. There's a thing that we don't do, in spite of all those connections. There's a thing that we rarely do, and I think we're in a position that we have to. Carla, we pretty much got to talk about Pitt football this week.
I know, and
we really don't.
Well, and we you're right. We don't talk about it mostly because or if we do, we're like, hey, wait, is Pitt good? That's usually the conversation we end up having. Mm-hmm. And this year we have to say it looks like maybe they are. They're certainly getting the national treatment this weekend, so we'll see how that holds up.
Yeah.
I'm going to be really interested to see how they handle that. I saw the location where they're putting game day, and that's going to be really fun.
Where is it? I haven't looked yet. I don't know.
They're doing it right like along the bank of the river.
Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
Like they're doing it down there. And so it's going to be outside of the stadium, not on Pitt's campus, because the game's an early kick. So there's not enough time to get everybody from the campus. Right. So that makes sense. I think we should start an over-under right now as to how many game day anchors end up in the river.
McAfee, for sure. Yeah, that's just the over-under should be how many times does he get in the river?
And does Pete go too?
Oh, that'd be cool. That'd be fun. This is so bad. In fact, we usually talk on Mondays about the games that we're going to talk about when we tape on Tuesdays. I gave my slate. I picked the big boy games. Carla answered right away. This is our text thread. Well, we can adjust this and do this and do this. And finally, AJ's like, "Hey, dummy, game day's in town this week."
It's Notre Dame Pitt week.
Yeah,
and hello, as the foremost Notre Dame and Pitt respecter on this podcast, I guess. Oh, everybody's going to talk about the big games. Adrian's going to talk about the G5 games. I'm talking about the literal game the game day is coming to.
Yeah, but that is where Pitt football is in my brain. But this week and for the rest of the season, actually, we'll get to all this. But we got to talk about Pitt football.
I would like to point out that. Let me check this real quick. That's right. Arkansas LSU made the list before Notre Dame Pitt. In case you're wondering if this SEC podcast cannot hide its bona fides any longer.
It's true.
Disrespecting ACC football.
I did. It's true. 100% true. The other unusual thing, at least in terms of the 2025 college football season, AJ, is that to my knowledge, no one got fired this week. Is that
no.
Is that correct?
I have not had to update the sheet in quite some time.
Okay.
There are many people who probably should be fired.
Well, I mean, we all would have guessed Luke Fickell is like right there on the chopping block, and he got an affirmation from the University of Wisconsin saying no, he's our guy. And then he went out and got a nice win against Washington. So good for Luke. We like Luke. That's a good thing. But we have no firings to talk about this week.
The Fickle situation is almost the exact opposite of a firing. Like, coach probably should have gotten fired, but instead gets a 1-year extension. Okay, interesting.
Did they? That feels like there's a thing called fake extensions.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And how much is it? How much is it that Wisconsin just didn't want to get into this carousel, knowing how crazy this carousel is? Like, there's probably some of that there too.
I think there's definitely some
value in that. Yeah.
I think this is also a fake extension because there was a little thing called Wisconsin doesn't have the money. They can't buy him out. Mm-hmm. His buyout's too big, so they don't have the dollars to actually go buy him. This feels like an extension of, we're going to give you a 1-year extension, but also it renegotiated his buyout. I have not seen the details of this contract, but that's what this feels like. Mm-hmm. We're going to renegotiate this deal. Mm-hmm. We're going to give you the extension, but we're going to renegotiate this down. And also, you're probably firing your coordinators at the end of the season. That's what this feels like. This feels like
because he just replaced him.
Because he just did. Yeah. And you're going to can those guys. You're going to put this in. Reminder, they beat Washington in just an absolute sloppy game. Anybody want to take a guess as to who the leading passer was?
I know this.
I would not have any idea at this point.
I know the answer to this.
Who was the leading passer for Wisconsin this week?
It was their punter.
Yes. How many yards did he have?
Like 48?
24.
24?
How many of those were on multiple plays?
There was only one pass.
There was just the one. It was just one pass for 24 yards, leading passer.
That's a nice average, though.
A hell of an average.
Completion percentage. That's excellent. That's
in case you're wondering how it's going in Wisconsin, they have a punting rotation. That's a real statement. Big Ten West football hasn't died. It's just outside. That's all.
It feels like that should be an Iowa thing, but I guess the Badgers have to innovate where they can.
Speaking of Iowa,
yes,
they said, hey, remember how you guys were talking about scoring points? No, we're going back to the old ways, baby.
Hey, I watched most of that game.
Mm-hmm. I did too.
I don't know and because my options were limited because still YouTube TV, whatever. But that game was ugly as heck. Mm-hmm. Exactly what you would anticipate in Iowa City, in Kinnick. Like, it was 100% what you would have expected out of that. And like my recap from last weekend is like, it was the weekend of season-defining game-winning drives.
Okay.
Because technically we got 4 of them. Mm-hmm. Only 2 of them were actually successful, right? Because in Iowa City, you get the it looked like it was a back-breaking drive, right? From Iowa at the end of the game there. 12 plays, 93 yards, ends in a touchdown, a 16-15 Iowa lead, and it looks like,
I swear I saw highlights of completed passes by the Hawkeyes.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, and they were there.
They were. Okay. And I mean, it was an incredible drive to watch live. Mm-hmm. And it was like, I was going to do this. And then Oregon just responds. 10 plays, 54 yards in a $148 to kick a game-winning 39-yard field goal, and Oregon pulls it out. Like, the big thing there was ducks like water. So the rain didn't bother them, but man, what a game, and so you really got to, like, Iowa has mettle. Mm-hmm. I mean, they very well could have won that game, but so does Oregon. Don't count them out. They are still hanging around in the Big Ten. And then, of course, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention my heartbreak. That was a great game. It was an incredible game. And again, 2 what looked like season-defining drives, right? Yeah. Because you get that incredible drive out of the Penn State offense and go down, take the 24-20 lead, 6.5 to play in the fourth quarter. You exchange a couple punts, and you're like, are they going to do this? Are they going to do this? And AJ, I had feelings about football again for the first time in several weeks.
You could see it in the text thread. You could see it. So, Carla's engaged. Ooh, yes. Okay, here we go. Yeah,
because
all I did was I put the eyes emoji and I just said,
yes.
Penn State going to do the thing?
Yeah. And like I was in like I missed the most of the first half because I was driving back from a dress rehearsal for my concert, but I was glued in the second half, and I was like, are they really gonna do? Are they really? They might actually do this. They might actually do this. And then Indiana responds with absolutely a season defining drive, and I mean, other than being on the wrong end of that situation, I mean, that catch by Mark Cooper was absolutely insane.
Yeah, I don't even know
best
what you
catch
do.
of the year by far, maybe in several years.
What's crazy is there was a just as insane a catch to get down to the
Yeah.
4-yard line or wherever they were from the tight end. He catches a like crazy one-hander up, one foot in to tap it to bring them down into that area. Gus Johnson went ultraviolet. Like I need you, if you haven't seen this, just go look up Omar Cooper, Gus Johnson reaction.
Yeah.
Because Gus's call is that does he loses words. He just goes like dogs heard him.
And he found another octave. The catch that Jeremiah Smith made 2 weeks ago. It was tipped at the goal line, and he just kind of reached behind his head and pulled it in with one hand and stepped across the goal line. And Gus got to like almost like dog whistle level, but he found another octave with the Cooper catch. There's he found a whole other gear that he did not know existed. And AJ is exactly right. If you have not heard it, you should go find it as soon as you're done listening to us.
And he specifically, like, it sounds like he's crying after the catch.
Yes.
Like the catch happens, and then you hear him just go, "Give the husband now."
Yeah.
And I'm just like, he's crying. He's crying in the booth right now. Joel Klatt has to console this man so that he can carry on with the rest of this game because there's still time on the clock. There's so much about that play. That catch was insane.
It was.
And like, I appreciated that Carla was like, that sucks for Ernest, but that catch was insane. Like, you can appreciate the insanity of that catch. Like, toe down. I've seen an.
Both feet
no,
in.
he didn't get the second foot down.
He did not.
He didn't get the second foot down.
I think he did.
I think he did.
He gets the foot. No, his
got
foot is kept up by the defensive back, who's trying to keep it from touching the ground.
Okay.
It looks like he's kind of sweeping the leg out, but the other foot, the toe touches first. So the left foot touches first, and then the right foot touches down out of bounds. 1 foot down in college, everybody.
Yeah, that's all you need.
But that's all you need. It was a touchdown. It was incredible.
Absolutely.
I was like, damn, that's insane.
Yeah. And I found myself really getting excited for Penn State. I mean, for my rooting interest, it doesn't matter either way if Indiana loses or whatever. But man, with the pick and the go ahead score, I thought this is going to be the moment. And
and let's rip your heart out and stomp all over it in the middle of Beaver Stadium, right?
Yes.
But the one thing I will say about that game is, it was good to see the ground game actually look like the ground game that we used to know.
Absolutely.
They our two-headed running back actually got going again, but also like Grunkemeyer is going to be a good quarterback. It's going to be really interesting to see if Penn State can keep him.
Yep.
Like that's going to be a really interesting thing here. Like, is he going to stick with the program, or is he going to portal out? We don't know, and it kind of depends on how the coaching search goes for sure. But that was what we were kind of waiting for out of him. He's young. He's a freshman. Like it was going to take a while for him to develop. But man, did he have some poise at the end of that game? And I hope we can keep him. But you don't know in the new ways that the cycle works. But But if we don't keep him, somebody else gets him. He's going to be a good quarterback for somebody.
For those of you who are familiar with the program, we have just sort of moved into the recamp.
Yeah.
From last weekend. I don't know who's
just
going.
Kind of happened.
I don't know who wants to go. Whatever.
Those are kind of most of my notes. I only have one more quick thing
AJ.
to mention. So
I'll go.
AJ, please.
I watched my beloved Hawaii Rainbow Warriors tear San Diego State in half.
Destroyed.
I watched
Yeah.
every second of that game, and I was waiting for it to go sideways, and it just wouldn't.
Mhm.
Hawaii looked great on defense. They looked great on offense. San Diego State could not do anything on offense.
Mhm.
And at one point, I think I have a screen cap of it. Like Hawaii had 200 yards and San Diego State had -8. It was like the Utah.
Yeah.
It was like the Utah Colorado game.
Mhm.
San Diego State was coming in as like this is like one of the teams to beat in Mountain West.
Yeah. Yeah.
They went to the island and left with an L. So it's now is and. But there's a. Some of y'all catch that.
I get it.
There is a. This is the fun part for San Diego State. We'll talk about this later, but they get to come back and I believe we just make sure we double check my maps here and everything. They host Boise State. Whoops. I might have been a bit of a look ahead.
Maybe.
During the game, the broadcast mentioned they were without, I think, one of their starting linebackers, one of their starting quarterbacks, but that does not make up your entire defense. And Hawaii could do basically whatever they wanted to. They were running the ball. They were throwing. Also, you would think it was pouring rain for most of the game. And you would think that would have an effect on a quarterback's ability to throw. Now, Mike Alhado, he was dropping dimes all game. It was delightful to watch. It was 38-6. And while during the game, Hawaii was running their men's and women's basketball teams and the football team are doing a food bank drive mid-game. So I donated $50 at the end of the game with Go Bows.
Nice.
like
it.
You
I
beat,
like it.
You beat that behind. You can get $50 for the food bank. You guys got it. I also made some business decisions over the weekend.
Okay.
And Carla and Crappy are both YouTube TV subscribers. And so am I. And I wasn't going to miss any games. So I signed up for a free trial of Fubo and promptly canceled Sunday morning. And I'm not paying. Their rates are crazy. They don't have the CW and they don't have the Turner networks. That is a distinct loss.
Yeah.
Yes.
Especially as basketball starts coming up. Like that's a huge problem in March.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And so so I signed up for a Fubo trial. Honestly, the service was really good. There was very little delay. Their Apple TV app is really, really good, largely because as on some of their higher plans, they will give you an Apple TV 4K as like part of their deal. You have to have you have to have their service for 6 months, and then they send you an Apple TV.
Nice.
Or after your trial completes, they send you the Apple TV. Then you have to at least have the service for 6 months, and then they give you bill credits. Or whatever.
Yeah.
But you get like Apple TV, which is really nice. The thing I noticed though is their interface is a little wonky. Trying to find certain, like the local channels are separated from the sports channel. Like they have like the way that they do their multi-views and that sort of thing. They separate it by like genres. And if you pick sports, sometimes the local channels are in there, sometimes they're not. And so you kind of had to bounce back and forth. But
if you select favorite channels, it will put all of them at the top of the guide listing. So that makes that easier.
Well, when I sign up for my next free trial for this weekend,
there you go.
We could do that. There was I think it was Morgan Stanley was issuing like their financial. This is like really weird hashtag business stuff. But a research note from Morgan Stanley said in their financial forecast for Disney's year-end quarter, they are adding 14 days of impact from the ongoing YouTube TV blackout, which we estimate is a $60 million loss.
In 2 weeks.
And that basically breaks down to, they estimate it to be about a $4.3 million loss per day for revenue. And this is kind of the problem. These are $2 gazillion companies.
Monster companies.
So if they're going to take this $60 million loss to potentially have a $60 million savings, that's where this is coming in. I hope it ends soon because it's real stupid. YouTube TV is the only streaming platform like that that is at the cost that they are. They're like 80, like even at their price, all their goofy price increases that they've had over the past few years, they're still cheaper than DirecTV Stream. They're still cheaper. I actually looked into like getting a real TV box from Fios for this weekend, and it's still significantly cheaper than both of those.
Yeah.
So you're in this space where like, yeah, we're back to the old cable TV wars, but like this has got to give.
Who does this hurt? Who does this hurt more? I mean, my thinking is if you're YouTube TV and you have this brand and you want to be the leader in streaming television programming, and there is just this huge chunk that for whatever reason you're not carrying. I kind of feel like that's more damaging to YouTube TV. Disney has lots of options. Disney owns its own stuff. Disney's on everything else. I feel like I feel like YouTube TV is the I guess the loser here, without getting into financials. But
I think
does that make sense?
I think YouTube and Google, their parent company, are the losers here because people will switch.
Yeah.
You have made it easy to cancel.
Yep.
That's kind of the reason why a lot of people like YouTube TV, especially they have a feature in their cancellation flow where you can pause service. So like I only care about it during football season, so I'm going to pause it from February to August, and you could do that, and it'll auto restart, it'll auto renew, and then you're back in, and you're only paying for the months where you actually care about having TV like that. I can see. This is where there's the big conspiracy theory that like part of the reason ESPN's holding out is they're trying to see how many people will actually sign up for the various ESPN direct streaming services because they just rolled those out.
Yep.
Right.
And I know ESPN is running a bundle deal with Fox for Fox's over-the-top streaming service, which is also super interesting given that you have Disney and Fox, and these two are the ones who are bashing heads over the P2. So if you actually were to go, I quickly did the math on this. It was if you did ESPN and Fox, and you need Paramount for the CBS networks, you need Peacock for NBC, and then you still need something for the CW because the CW is out there, and then you need HBO Max for like this is broken now. You were fully broken at this point. So, and then none of those are together. So if you want to watch games in a quad box, like we love to talk about, across multiple networks like that, you can't do it. You're stuck inside of the box that you have in each one of those places. My way of doing ESPN and YouTube TV stuff together broke when ESPN rolled out ESPN Unlimited. They broke ESPN's encryption stuff, which sucks. So I can't do that anymore. So like the one that I see potentially being really interesting is Hulu Live TV.
Okay.
They do. The problem is they don't quad box, but they have all the channels and they integrate ESPN Plus games. So there is, because Hulu is owned by Disney.
Okay.
So there is an opportunity there.
Okay. Okay.
So I'm interested to see if they do that. If Hulu rolled out an update and they said, "Hey, we got quad box now," buddy. Hulu could print money tomorrow if they did that. If I'm ESPN, I'm going, "Hey, Hulu devs, can I get quad box on Roku and Apple TV? Thank you," and just hand that off. And I'm just going to watch YouTube TV subscribers unsubscribe and go sign up for Hulu because they would do it in a heartbeat. And this is the thing that you're going to like. Honestly, you guys remember that this is we're getting into real inside nerd baseball here. Fubo had a lawsuit. Against ESPN because ESPN, they were doing what the hell was it called? Vivo or something like that. I forget what the name of the company was supposed to be, but it was ESPN, Fox, CBS, and Turner were basically like linking up to build their own like effectively sports streaming service.
Right.
And Fubo sued and said, "This is collusion. They are all the rights holders and they're going to start their own service as a joint venture." No. And I think they were in court, and then Disney said, "All right, look here. Here's a check we're going to buy a majority of your company, and then we're not going to see this lawsuit anymore. Okay. And then Fubo said, that sounds great, guys. And so Fubo is actually partially owned by Disney now, and so is Hulu.
Yes.
And so you have this like conglomeration of various services. It sucks, and I just want YouTube TV to have ESPN because that would solve this entire problem. And eventually they will. But they are the fact that you have F1 Vegas coming up. You have you're in November college football. Reminder. You also, I didn't think it was going to survive the Cowboys being on Monday Night Football.
And yet
it did. It also, I thought it wasn't going to survive Election Day. And there was a little kerfuffle during that when Disney went to ESPN and said, or YouTube TV went to ESPN, and no, other way around. Disney went to YouTube TV and they said, hey, it's Election Day. Can we just get ABC back for the day? And YouTube TV was like, no, you left. Yeah. You could have signed a deal. We had a deal on the table. You could have signed it. You didn't. So no ABC on Election Day. So ABC made all their coverage, put all their coverage on YouTube. And YouTube specifically said, well, we have a YouTube thing. Your ABC network has 19 million subscribers. You can use this. It's right there. And they said that's what they did. So I think this is going to continue to be stupid. And it will likely be part of the recaps for a little bit. But the other game I saw that I thought was wild was Florida, Kentucky. I did not have Florida losing by a lot to Kentucky. No. DJ Lagway had 2 picks and a fumble by halftime. He's broken, y'all. He's fully broken.
And he looked to be so good. So promising, at least. Let's say that. We'll say that.
It's going to be hilarious when they beat Tennessee. Like Maximum Funny is being set right now. We're setting the stage for the dumbest thing possible. By the way, Crappy's watching the Ohio Western Michigan game. Ohio just scored a touchdown. Yes. It is currently a 14:55 left
13.
In the fourth quarter.
Missed the extra point. 13
missed the extra point. That might come. I hope that doesn't come back to haunt them.
I hope so as well. Carla, you had AJ. Was that those are your highlights for last weekend?
Yeah, I think there was a lot of slop in the middle of the day. The middle of the day was not great. I think we kind of called that out. BYU Texas Tech was great though, so we had that going for us.
Whew, Texas Tech looks scary. Carla, you had one more.
One more, because it happened across the street from where I was having dress rehearsal. Vandy needed overtime, but Diego goes 4-0 against Hugh Freeze coached at one point teams. Yeah,
that still counts.
That still counts. So we had a lot of happy people on Sunday at church across the street. They're not completely they're not entirely eliminated yet from potentially making the playoff. A lot of stuff has to happen, but they're still technically in the mix. So we're going to keep willing that into being as long as we can.
Absolutely.
Did anyone notice something about Auburn once Hugh Freeze was gone?
They had an offense.
They had an offense.
They scored.
It seems weird. A bunch. I was told that Hugh Freeze was an offensive big brain genius. Allegedly, there was a flow chart for calling plays. Like he had a coach that was specifically the first down coach. And then there was a coach who was the second down coach, and a coach that was the third down coach, and a coach who was the fourth down coach. And he would confer with these various people during the game. And then once he was gone, the flow chart got thrown away, and Derek Nix was the one who was calling all the plays. And all of a sudden, when one guy's calling the offense, they score points with the same talent. Hugh Freeze sucked as a football coach, not just as a human being. Just so we're clear.
Oh my God.
So congratulations to Hugh Freeze for collecting the next however many millions of dollars for being bad at his job. Again, coach buyouts are stupid.
Yes.
And
especially that one.
But here's the other part. I'm going to say a sentence out loud.
Okay.
The Auburn coaching search is going to be a more straightforward run coaching search than the LSU job.
Oh, yeah.
I would buy
I
that.
think I said it last week, but
You
I'm
did say it last
fully
week.
in on it this
And
week.
that is saying something, because Auburn has gone to historic lengths to have the most screwed up coaching searches that you could possibly have.
Tennessee would
And
like a word, but yes.
okay, we didn't. Yeah, we can Tennessee enters chat. That's fine. That's but yeah,
The group
I
chat?
think yes. Ay ay ay. Yeah, a great win for Vandy. It would have been so much sweeter had Hugh Freeze been on the sideline for just one more week, but we will take what we can get. The Carnegie Mellon Tartans had to take what they could get, which was not much. They fell to Frankie and Marshall 31-24. A decent game, although I had a chance to keep it on the whole time, and I just never really felt like CMU was really in it. Just sort of the poking at the edges of the Diplomats, and just could not quite put together the effort that they needed. So they one more regular season game, and we'll talk about this, but hopefully they will make a good impression on the folks who will assemble the D3 playoff bracket, which gets announced next weekend. Couple things from Ohio State visiting Purdue. Once again, my paranoia unfounded. That's fine. First thing, there seemed to be an emphasis on running the ball. Worked well. 170 yards, 43 carries, 4 per attempt. So that's good. This team is now averaging 4.8 yards per carry on the season. Last year's team averaged 5.1. So in the ballpark. And I'm pleased with that at this point. Thing number 2, good and bad here. Carnell Tate did not play. He apparently there was a tightness or something during warmups, and really the team hasn't addressed this week. So I'm not sure what this is going to mean for Ohio State and UCLA on Saturday night. But he did not play. And if you were expecting Purdue to be able to shut down Jeremiah Smith, given that the other top receiver is not on the field, you would be wrong. Smith had 10 catches, 137 yards, 1 TD. Got to see a lot of catches from tight ends. Got to see some young guys who don't get on the field very much. So nice effort there. Should note this, since we brought it up last week, and then we will move to this week's stuff. Although our Williams Eafs held a 13-11 lead at Amherst going into the fourth quarter. The Mammoths kicked a go-ahead field goal with under 3 minutes left in the game to give host Amherst, I think I'm saying that right this time, an excruciating 14-13 win in this year's biggest little game. Eafs, we will get them next week. AJ, you came across a detail about this game that I didn't show up in the recap that I read.
Amherst apparently doesn't run the victory formation too often.
Not this year. They don't know. No.
In the process of this, I believe the quarterback fumbled the snap on the victory formation.
Can't do that.
And then had to fall on it. So Williams might have had a chance in the dumbest way possible, but Amherst does in fact get the win, even though he fumbled the victory formation snap.
And that's you figure that's it's like it's probably in your own end. Don't know what the kicker situation is like at Williams, but that can't put that ball on the ground. Can't do it.
Nope.
It was a fun weekend. We are looking forward to another fun weekend as we really get down to it. And we will start, as we do, with our Group of Dark After 5 report, our Group of 5 After Dark report, and our Big 12 buffet, which I believe will be opening up here shortly. For both of those things, AJ, what you got?
It is. It's a real fun week that we have on the calendar. We're really just going to start on Saturday. Because the Friday night games are big boy games, but not as big as they could be. Big-ish.
Yeah.
One of those games is going to have, hopefully, giving us a little bit more than the other. We're starting at noon on ESPN2 with South Florida at Navy. South Florida favored by 10.5. The fun index is 65.5. I don't need to remind most of you that South Florida got absolutely destroyed by North Texas, and then they got back up and went back to destroying everybody else.
Right.
They have been putting pain on everyone. And that's why going to Annapolis, where it'll be 48 degrees and sunny on Saturday, I just don't see it for Navy. Navy got absolutely steamrolled by Notre Dame, and that's not giving me any sort of real belief that South Florida is going to be any different. I'm going to go ahead and take the Bulls here. Crappy, who you got?
Heart says Navy. Everything else says South Florida.
Yeah, same thing here, and everyone knows I'm a Navy gal. But also worth noting, USF entry into this week's college football playoff ranking. So they are now a ranked team. They are number 24, and projected at the moment to take the spot that Memphis held last week, which is the 12 seed in the playoffs. So this is a big game for South Florida. I think they're going to win this game on the road.
I'm moaning about a horribly tackled, horribly defended screen pass by Western Michigan, who just scored to take the lead with a 13:43 left. Sorry.
So, in case you're wondering what the other members of the group of five are doing, I'm throwing this game out there. I didn't put this on my original list, but I'm throwing this out there. Noon, CBSSN, the network of
Champions.
Air Force heads to the Rent to play UConn. This is at Pratt & Whitney Stadium in East Hartford. But I don't know if you guys know this, but UConn's like undefeated at home.
Yep.
In the last 2 years.
Yeah.
They're very good when you got to go up and you got to get that. You got clam chowder at the hotel. UConn's very good. Air Force stunningly showed a bit of defense last week and shut down San Jose State, a team that took my beloved Bows and threw them around for quite a while. They went to San Jose State, won 26-16. They put up some defense against Army. So the game that they had against Wyoming wasn't necessarily that Wyoming can't score. It's they actually held them down and stopped them. They also did that to Army, who's not terrible, but also not very good. And then they did that to San Jose State, which put like 45 on Hawaii. So I am not optimistic for Air Force's chances. I think UConn goes 8-3. A wild statement. And then UConn actually just doing a quick schedule check. They finished with Air Force and FAU. FAU is 4-5.
Yep.
So there's a chance that you might see 9-3 UConn. Just throwing it out there. Keep an eye on that.
Talk to your kids about 9-3. Talk to your
Playoff.
kids about 9-3 UConn.
Playoff next year. There you go. There you go.
If Jim Mora Jr. takes UConn to the playoff, he's going to get a pile of money from some dumb program, guaranteed. Guaranteed.
He might do that anyway. We'll see.
By the way, we're talking about USF getting ranked and probably going to be taking that number 12 seed from Memphis, but I am wondering why North Texas isn't getting more love. Texas, who beat the brakes off of USF, they're 8-1. I do not understand that. USF beat North Texas. I've had this backwards the whole time. That's why USF is getting ranked and UNT is not. That's why. So the game that I was actually going to go to next was where are you, Memphis? You're in here somewhere. It's Memphis at ECU. There it is, 4 p.m. ESPNU. I was scrolling through the list here. ECU is favored by 2.5 at home. The fun index is 59.5. East Carolina has been sneaky good this season. And Memphis is quietly stumbling. They lost at home to Tulane. It was kind of a back and forth game. Honestly, I think there was a very evenly matched game. Towards the end, like Tulane just was making better plays and Memphis wasn't. Memphis finishes the season with East Carolina and Navy. I have a feeling they're going to probably end 9-3 or 10-2 here. I'm going to go ahead and take Memphis here. I think they need to show like they're still in the hunt Memphis is 4-2. They're going to need a lot of help to get to the American Championship game. But I'm going to go ahead and take Memphis here. Carla, who you got?
Yeah, it feels really risky to pick Memphis to lose 2 straight. But East Carolina has the best scoring defense in the conference. Like this game's going to be real interesting. My gut says Memphis. I didn't pick in my notes. I'll say Tigers on the road, but yeah, it wouldn't stun me if East Carolina snuck up and won this one. But I'll go Tigers.
I don't have I have a good sense of what Memphis can be. I don't have a sense of who they are, and who they can consistently be. I'm gonna pick East Carolina here. I think that's gonna turn into a home win.
Just because I know we're getting to that season where like what do the conference matchups look like? ECU finishes the season with, I believe, UTSA and FAU after Memphis.
Okay.
And they go to both of those places. So this is their last home game. And then Memphis finishes the season with East Carolina and Navy. That Navy game may be to get into the championship game, or at least to put the championship scenarios into a real blender, because Navy is currently 5-1 in conference. And I believe that what is Navy? Yeah, Navy's last game. I think they play 8 conference games. Where? Oh, because it took me to the page for the game, not for Navy's schedule. Navy plays South Florida and Memphis back to back. That may be where this all falls apart.
Yeah.
They lost to North Texas by a lot. They lost to Notre Dame by a lot. Yes, Army and Navy are in the conference, and technically that is a conference game. However, it is outside the bounds of time and space, and so it's not considered for the conference championship game. So it's effectively an out of conference game regardless. So I have a feeling that if Navy pulls one out against South Florida this week, which we don't think they will, that potentially makes beating Navy a play-in game potentially for the American Championship. I'm going to go through during the big boy games. We'll see if we can figure out some scenarios there and bring those to you at the end of the show. Okay. We move forward though, because I want to point out a game. Specifically at 7 p.m. on ESPN Plus. You will probably not be paying attention to this because there are Big 12 buffet games on. There's SEC games on. Purdue is playing Washington if you're into that sort of thing. But Delaware at Sam Houston. I know you're wondering, AJ, come on. All right, AJ. We get it. You love the small teams. You love to do these. We know this. But why are you talking about this game? Number one, Sam Houston got their first win of the season. They beat Oregon State in Corvallis. It was a real stupid game. I watched a lot of that one too on God's CW network. They get their first win. Delaware, though, coming up from FCS, is 5-4.
Yes.
They're 3-3 in conference. Now, this is where the very stupid rule of moving up from FCS to FBS rears its ugly head, and they're not bowl eligible in their first season. Except
unless
if there are too many, or if there are not enough bowl slots for the 6-win teams, like there's not enough, there are not enough bowl slots. Then they go down to the 5-7 teams, and it's 5-7 based on APR, which is how well they play school. And then after that, if there's not enough spots, any new teams coming in have a chance to get a waiver to play in a bowl game. Delaware has started a 5-7 team tracker. They are now playing forward this idea that which of these teams are not going to go 5-7, or which of these teams have 5 wins and are dumb and won't want to go to a bowl game or something like that, so that they can maybe potentially sneak in. So they need to win at least 6 games in order to do that. This is game 6. They are currently 5-4. So if they can get to bowl eligibility, they just need a lot of schools to not want to play a bowl game because their kids were too dumb and didn't want to do it. So I'm just paying attention to this game. I really hope Delaware gets bowl eligible in the first year. I think that would be really cool.
That'd be awesome.
So I'm going to go ahead and pick the Blue Hens here. I'm guessing you are both also picking the Blue Hens.
I am, but I have a fun fact here because I got
please.
nerdy because I had a moment this afternoon and I was like, okay, so Sam Houston picked up their first win. Okay, awesome. What transitive properties does that unload? Friends,
Oh my God.
we can transitively get a Sam Houston win over Miami. Because we can go Sam Houston, Oregon State, Wazoo, San Diego State, Cal, Louisville, Miami.
And as we know, Miami does not like going to the state of Texas.
Exactly.
Did
That's-
Miami beat anybody funny this? Oh, yes. No, I'll take it a step further. Carla,
Okay.
ready for this one?
Okay.
Let's take it a
Here
little
we
bit
go.
further. Ready?
Here we go.
Miami. Who did Miami beat? They beat Florida State. Who did Florida State beat this year in week 1?
Alabama.
They beat Alabama. I got Sam Houston over Alabama, baby.
National champion contenders. Sam Houston State. That's fantastic.
Transitive
means
circles
also-
are fun, friends.
Which means also Sam Houston over Georgia
Yes.
because Bama beat Georgia.
Right.
SEC champions. There you go.
SEC champions.
Yep.
And this week can potentially own the state of Texas.
Yeah.
If Georgia beats Texas, you can now say Sam Houston over Texas. And
Has a
here's the
transitive
very
win over
quick
Texas.
chain of
Yes.
SEC champions,
Transitive win over Texas.
state of Texas champions,
right.
and playoff bound.
No,
There we go.
hold on. Texas A&M has a word about that one.
Well, okay,
Texas Tech would
okay.
also like a
Well,
word about
yeah,
that too.
but it can still work out that way. This is on the table.
How do we get Sam Houston over somewhere in there? There's a way that Sam Houston has beaten Texas Tech somewhere. Some weird, goofy way, I'm sure of it. This is where the dumb
could be-
spider
yeah.
web of college football transitive wins are very, very fun. And if you have the time, you should go look into those.
You should.
There's going to be a lot of games in the 7 p.m. slate. We're going to talk about a whole bunch of them. However, I need you to understand that during those 7 p.m. games, I know you're going to want to have some libations. I know you're going to want to have some beverages. But I need one of those to have caffeine in it because we got a late slate banger this week, y'all. I'm real sorry about it. I'm so sorry.
Okay.
There's no Hawaii test. Hawaii is off this week. No Hawaii test.
Okay.
All right.
However, let me break this down for you. At 10 p.m. on God's CW network, Louisiana Tech goes to Pullman to
This
play
slate
Wazoo.
starts at 10 p.m.
Starts at 10 p.m.
Okay. Just
If we want to take it one step back, actually you can't. You cannot take it a step back because then you get in an 8 p.m. game. There's an 8 p.m. game. So 10 p.m. slot, Louisiana Tech goes to Washington State. This will be on the CW. Washington State's favored by 7.5. Fun index is 44.5. Watch a CUSA team go to Pullman. Shrug.
Yeah.
At 10:15 p.m., we have a game. This is going to kind of help open up the buffet. TCU goes to Provo. And we are all very interested in this game.
fun.
BYU is favored by 4.5. Fun index is 52.5. And we are looking at, is this the slide for BYU? Right?
Yeah.
I think they played very admirably against Texas Tech. The defense kept it in that game. Texas Tech's defense snuffed out everything that BYU wanted to do. Like offensively, BYU did not have the mojo that they have had in other games. We'll talk about Baron Morton here in a second. But this is, I am wondering, because BYU has always gotten to this point, and I mentioned it last week, they get to like 8 wins and everybody gets really excited, and then all of a sudden things fall apart for BYU.
we have heard this song before.
I'm wondering if we're getting the second verse here and TCU goes to Provo and gets a win. Would be a lot. BYU at home at night is a not fun place to play.
Right.
You can ask many, many teams who've gone to Provo at night and come out with bruises and sadness. I'm taking BYU here because this is I don't want to say TCU at a 6-3 as a get right game, but they need to establish themselves back in the pecking order after taking some licks in Lubbock. Carla, who you got here?
It's contrasting styles between these two teams. BYU likes to run the football. TCU likes to throw the football. Defensively, TCU is solid against the run. Defensively, BYU is solid against the pass. Like something's got to give. I'm going to give the edge to BYU playing at home. I think that's the difference here. So I think BYU sneaks one out here at home, but this game's tight.
Who you got?
I'm gonna go with BYU as well. Although it does feel like a little bit like the BYU I have become accustomed to seeing over the past few weeks is starting to fall back. Maybe not quite like a September to Maryland situation versus the rest of the season, but that, as you said, this is we've seen this before. Or if this was in Texas, if this is in Fort Worth, I'd be really tempted to take TCU. I think BYU wins this just on the strength of the home game.
We move on to 10:30 p.m. on CBSSN, the network of
Champions.
Boise State goes to San Diego State. San Diego State coming off of a behind whooping at the hands of my Bows. Boise State looking quite mortal. They're 6-3. They're 4-1 in the Mountain West.
Mortable.
Mortable.
Very, very mortable. One thing I was doing because I am, if not deep in the game here, I was doing some calculations. I was looking through the looking glass, and all I had to do was move one game. And I think did I have to do two? No. Okay. This is very straightforward. If everything plays out and we have all the favorites beating everybody else, so if I have San Diego State beating Boise State, and like Boise and San Diego State winning out. Well, I take that back. That's weird. Didn't expect that one to be there. Is that what we need? Yeah. So what we need is two things to happen. Number one, if Boise State wins here and Hawaii wins out, Hawaii-Boise Mountain West Championship game.
Okay. I like it.
Go Broncos. So I the only reason I did that is I noticed that for some reason the generator has New Mexico favored over San Diego State, which I find very funny. That would help a lot. But if Boise beats San Diego State this week, San Diego State can win out. It doesn't matter. Hawaii needs to win out, and Boise can win out. And it will put it would be Boise hosting the championship game against San Diego State, because San Diego State and Hawaii would be 6-2 in conference, and Hawaii would hold the tiebreaker because they played head to head and won. So I am rooting for the Broncos. I think the Broncos would like to get a win here and more or less solidify themselves into the Mountain West Championship game, even though they are 6-3. And I think would be a good rebound for the way they started the season against South Florida. That South Florida loss looks a lot better. Looks so much better than it did at the start of the year. It looked like you went to South Florida and you got destroyed. Boise, what happened? And now we're sitting here at the end of the year and it's like, oh, South Florida is probably going to be the G5 playoff team. Whoops. So, you know, I think, South Florida's only losses to Miami. Who is still a very good school, or still a very good program, even though they've lost a couple of games here. So I'm going to go ahead and take the Broncos here, mostly because I'm a hater, and I would like to see my Bows in the championship game. Crappy, who you got?
I'll go with the Broncos. Those Broncos, not these Broncos who are driving on my Bobcats. It's not looking good at the moment. But yeah, we'll take Boise in this game.
Both these teams are like cruising along, and then they both just got absolutely blitzed last weekend. San Diego State has statistically the best defense in the conference, and Boise's not playing on the Smurf turf. I think San Diego State wins at home. Sorry, I'm rooting for Boise. I would like to get Hawaii.
I hope they. I would love to see my Bows. That means that the other option for the Bows to make it to the Mountain West Championship game would be that San Diego State loses to San Jose State next week, or they lose to New Mexico in the last week of the season. Either one of those, like, they need to lose one more game before the end of the season. If San Diego State loses one and Hawaii wins out, Hawaii's in the championship game.
Okay.
So this is the path forward, and we're going to look forward to all of that. And finally, a team that looks very much like the Western Michigan Broncos in terms of uniforms, but is the opposite of the Broncos. It's the Cowboys. We have the Wyoming Cowboys heading down to Fresno State. This game is at 10:30 p.m. on FS1. Fresno's favored by 3.5. The fun index is a brutal 40.5. I'm still waiting. Like, Wyoming's offense just has not shown up all year. It just doesn't. They have a very strong defense, a very sturdy defense, but they do not have a terribly good offense to go with it. And so they're kind of trying to win these like 10-7 games all season. And they're doing an okay job of it, but they're going to run into a Fresno team that they've had some ups and downs. I think the big thing that I've noticed from Fresno is that they cannot consistently get on a run. They'll win a few games, like they beat Southern, then they beat Hawaii, then they beat Nevada, then they lost to Colorado State, lost to San Diego State. They beat the crap out of Boise in Boise. I'm going to go ahead and take Fresno at home here. The Mountain West week to week it's a fun conference to watch week to week because there's no real rhyme or reason to it right now, other than Vegas doesn't know what to do with Hawaii, and Hawaii wins games. That's the rhyme and reason.
Okay.
So I'm going to go ahead and take Fresno here. Crappy, you got
Fresno. You need offense. That's a scoring conference. I think Fresno at home.
My notes here say if you look up the word inconsistent in the dictionary, you'll find a photo of Fresno State, because they're just like, good Lord, like their results make absolutely no sense, but they're rolling right now after a big win over Boise. So I'll take them at home.
And finally, y'all, ring the bell. The buffet's open. Woo! It's time for the Big 12 buffet.
Clang. No, never mind.
No, that's a different buffet.
Wrong conference. That's a different buffet. That's a seafood boil. We go to noon. That sounds delightful right now. Actually, it doesn't. It's hot as crap in this hotel room because they set the heat to 78 degrees, as I mentioned as we were starting the show. Yeah. I discovered that the thermostat on the wall doesn't have anything to do with the heater. It's actually controlled over here.
In the actual thing? Okay.
Yeah, I've been sitting here with the heat blowing on me for this entire show, and I finally figured out that it needs to be turned off over here. So we're good now, and it's definitely cooling down. But
I would set that to frost heat and just be comfortable. Yeah.
That's next.
Okay.
So noon, FS1, we have Arizona going to Cincinnati. Cincinnati's favored by 6.5. The fun index is 55.5. Given my proximity to the city of Cincinnati, I believe I'm required to pick the Bearcats here. Arizona doesn't travel well. They have not looked good when they leave the friendly confines of Tucson. I'm taking Cincinnati here. Carla, who you got?
Since Cincinnati ranked number 25, Cincinnati now. This feels like a trap game to me. Weather's not going to be a factor. Right. It's going to be nice. It's not going to be like it is now when it's cold. It's going to be like in the mid 60s and sunny. The Arizona defense is one of the best in the country against the pass, which is Cincinnati's mojo. This feels like a buffet option to me. Bear down on the road.
Okay. I'm gonna go with Cincinnati. Now that we figured out who the actual best team in the state of Ohio is, I have no worries about the Bearcats being able to take care of business in this game when Arizona shows up. So taking Cincy.
We also have where'd it go? Oh, I opened other things because when Carla mentioned the rankings, I was like, I haven't looked at the college football playoff rankings. And now I have questions. Noon, ESPNU, Kansas State at Oklahoma State. Kansas State is favored by 20.5. The fun index on this game is 52.5. It will not be fun for Oklahoma State. I am taking Kansas State here. Yep. Carla, are we seeing a resurgence on the Power Cats here?
Not consistently. No, I mean, they have moments. They show moments of brilliance, but no, they're kind of they're middle of the pack Big 12 team. They like to medal, but they're not. It's not what we thought they were going to be at the beginning of the season.
No.
But they're going to win this game.
They're the pick this week, yes. But there's no reason I gave up on them a week or two into the season, and there's no reason to change that. So Yeah, they're just they're a better team here.
At 1 p.m. on
Oh,
TNT, True TV, or HBO Max. That's right. Crappy's excited about this and not the fact that Western Michigan just missed the field goal. He's excited about the West Virginia Mountaineers heading to beautiful Phoenix, Arizona to play Tempe. It's in Tempe, excuse
Tempe,
me. It's
Arizona.
across
Yes,
the river,
yes, it is.
the
Yes, it
dry
is.
river, but a river nonetheless, to play Arizona State. Arizona State's favored by 11 and a half here. The fun index is 48 and a half. I don't know what to do with West Virginia. I really don't. They're on their like ninth quarterback. I think they asked Rich Rod, like, where are you getting all these quarterbacks? Because there's like Syracuse, who has like a walk-on player who has a lacrosse scholarship,
Mhm.
and that's who they're playing at quarterback. And meanwhile, Rich Rod's like, I guess I'm going to QB8 on the depth chart, and he's just like pulling him off like he's like, this is the quarterback for this game. It's like a paper towel. Like he's just pulling it off the roll, and then he uses it, and then he throws it away. Even though the first one was like really good and absorbent, he's like, I don't know, man. I just gotta wipe my hands off. And I don't know what to do with West Virginia because there's an unreasonable path to bowl eligibility, but they could get there.
Mhm.
They definitely need this one against Arizona State, obviously. Arizona State had bigger dreams coming into the season. Sam Levitt is done. And Jeff Sims is your quarterback. Yes, that Jeff Sims, the one who played for Nebraska and Georgia Tech many moons ago. I feel like this is West Virginia's game to win, even if Arizona State's favored. I'm taking the Mountaineers. Weirdly, I don't know why. Just feels like a thing to do. Jeff Sims as a quarterback does not strike fear into my heart. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah. That's
Carla, who you got?
yeah, no, that's a good point. And I had originally said because it's in Tempe, you got to take Arizona State because dreams go to die in Arizona.
That's fair. That's a
is-
fair point.
So I think I'll still go Sparky, but yeah, you're right. I don't know what to make of West Virginia either. They seem to have magic at home, and this is not a home game. So I'll take Sparky in what's going to be kind of an ugly game, I think.
Rich Rod will figure it out. He has been successful everywhere he's been, except for Michigan, which was just an awful fit for him. But in terms of culture, in terms of personnel, just that should never have happened from a Michigan person's standpoint. He's going to figure it out. He is, and I think his offense is getting there. The number of quarterbacks he's played, yeah, that's an issue. But this feels like Rich Rod is getting to the point where he wants to be. That plus the quarterback depleted Sun Devils, I'm going to pick West Virginia on the road.
We go down to 3:30 p.m. on the Fox Broadcasting Network. Happy Scott Frost Day. It's UCF at Texas Tech.
There we go.
Texas Tech is favored by 23 and a half. The fun index is 47 and a half. The best I can say here is UCF, if you can get to Baron Morton, like BYU got to Baron Morton, you might be in business. Baron Morton has a hurt ankle, and he thinks he doesn't have a hurt ankle based on the way he was trying to get away from linebackers last week and couldn't. He's playing with a mobility that he does not have anymore. And that became a problem for Texas Tech last week. They could have scored many, many more points, but Bear Morton would not let a play die or throw the ball away. He was sacked 4 times. There were 6 tackles for losses. He was not able to run effectively at all. I don't think that's going to be a problem this week. UCF does not have a terribly good defense, and I think there's a reason why that spread is 23. So I'm going to go ahead and take Texas Tech at home here. Crappy, who you got?
Throw them tortillas. Tech wins easy.
Yeah, Texas Tech.
And finally at 7 p.m., because we already talked about TCU, BYU.
Yep.
On ESPN2, we have Utah going to Baylor. Utah's favored by 8.5. The fun index is 60.5. Do we know who's starting at quarterback for Utah? this week?
I am not aware.
I'm quite literally looking this up because I'm trying to figure out if Devin Dampier is going to play. Bird Ficklin, who's the backup quarterback, has been playing recently. He's also very good at playing football. We're not worried about that so much. But this is something that I'm very interested in because I think there's a distinct difference in the way that Utah plays next to the way that Utah plays with Devin Dampier versus the way they play with Bird Ficklin. Bird Ficklin is very good, but he was much more of a runner than Dampier is.
Yeah.
24/7
is reporting that Dampier is going to start on Saturday.
If Dampier is going to start on Saturday, then this is a no-brainer. You're taking Utah. They're the number 13 team in the country for a reason. One of their losses is to a close one to BYU. I'm taking, and the other one was getting beat down by Texas Tech. I'm taking the Utes here in Baylor. Baylor is fine, but not great. They do have a slinging quarterback. Is it Sawyer Robinson? I was about to say a different name because it's the name of a friend of mine. But Sawyer Robertson, he's a slinging quarterback. He's got 2,700 yards on the season, 26 TDs, 7 picks. They run the ball well, but I think Utah is going to show up with a bag of hammers and let Baylor know what time it is. So I'm taking the Utes. Carla, who you got?
I'm taking Utah on the road too. My spidey senses are up for this one though. Like weird things happen in Baylor. Like a night game in Baylor, strange things happen. Like this has a buffet feel to me, but I am taking Utah. It is strength on strength, like you just mentioned. Baylor slings the ball around. Utah's pretty darn good defensively against the pass, so that's why I think Utah is the pick. But if this one's close, turn it on because weird things happen in Waco.
I'm a Utah fan, and yeah, that's where I'm going with this matchup. OU is down to a 4th and 20. You can make 420 jokes about my beloved Ohio University in Athens, Ohio, all you want, but this is not looking good.
Yeah, I was about to hold asking Crappy for his pick because I'm looking over at the TV, which is just off to my right here, to say, like, we've got Ohio on 4th and 20. They call timeout. Settle down. That is the end of the Big 12 buffet. It's time to put on our big boy pants. And it's time to go to the carving station. What's happened in the big boy games this week?
We're going to do a couple preliminary games because they're just again. I don't know why I'm obsessed with trophy games this year. One of which is reappearing after a while. One of which is just I think it has the potential to be kind of a silly game, which is why I wanted to bring that up. So these are not technically big boy games. They're sort of, the in-between kid, maybe? I don't know. At 12:45, these are both Saturday, on the SEC network, which explains the bizarre starting time.
It is the true Jefferson Pilot game.
The true Jefferson Pilot game, the Battle of the Boot, which if you put the states together, they make a boot shape thing. This is Arkansas at LSU. LSU is favored by 5.5. The AJ Fun Index is 57.5. Carla, how's briefly? We don't need to break these down to any great degree, but 1, is this game going to be entertaining? 2, who's going to win?
Always, it's entertaining. You always turn on Arkansas LSU because it's dumb every year. I decided to pick this game based on. It's the battle of the boot. Who's got the better punting right now? That would be LSU. LSU has had 38 punts in 9 games, averaging 46 yards ish per punt. That's 16th in the country. Arkansas has only punted 24 times in 9 games, averaging 44.5 yards per punt. That's 40th in the country. Based on that, LSU wins.
Okay. AJ.
This is going to sound silly, but this is going to come down to defense. Arkansas will score points. Full stop. They will. LSU, I think, did an admirable job last week against Alabama.
Yeah, they did.
They did, absolutely.
They held Alabama to 20 points in Bryant-Denny, coming off of firing their coach.
If they could have finished a couple drives with touchdowns, they were kicking too many field goals, just could not close out a drive. But that was a good game.
And Garrett Nussmeier, I'm really sorry, and I hope your health insurance is good because God bless, you are dying back there, my boy.
Yeah.
I'm taking LSU here less for funnies and more for I do think they are still they're a more talented team, and Bobby Petrino doesn't understand what the other side of the ball is supposed to do. He just sees it as a thing to destroy. So and he does it to himself. And so I expect him to come away with a loss. LSU to go away with the big giant boot.
That is what I expect as well. LSU home. Just the starting level of the talent on each team. There's a disparity there. So I think that's the cliche about the Jimmies and Joes. That's the LSU's going to win this one at home. My Bobcats are not going to win this one on the road. Western is kneeling it out, and looks like they're going to win this game 17-13. I don't know what I'm going to do. The other trophy game coming up this weekend. Carla has to be excited about this.
I am.
At 3:30, the featured Big Ten game on CBS. The Land Grant Trophy returns. Penn State visits Michigan State. Penn State is favored by 7.5 points. The AJ Fun Index is a 49.5. And ladies and gentlemen, they are playing for the most ornate, gorgeous telephone stand cabinet thing that
you bought at your great aunt's yard sale.
have ever laid eyes on. AJ, how's this going to go?
Oh, listen, I am still mad at the Big Ten for not giving Penn State a protected rivalry. Not against Ohio State.
We've talked about that, but yeah, this
Michigan
one too.
State.
Yes.
This one, because this is the best trophy. I'm sorry, I don't care about all the other trophies. The Land Grant Trophy is the best trophy. The only other one that is even in this realm is the $5 bits of broken chair trophy, and that is entirely because the internet made it. And then both teams went, "Yep, this is our trophy."
Okay, cool.
That's it. That's the only other thing.
Floyd of Rosedale. I mean, that's pretty good.
That is still
cool when it was
but Floyd is still the greatest trophy in all of sport.
When it was a real pig, sure. It was a real pig. That's why it was Floyd of Rosedale.
Yes.
And then they made it bronze because the pig died, and so they couldn't give away a real pig every time. But I love the Land Grant Trophy because it is the dumbest trophy. It is huge for no reason. It has shelves,
furniture,
for tchotchkes.
Yes.
It is a credenza of a trophy. This belongs next to the Chesterfield. Mm-hmm. All right. This is an insane looking trophy, and it warms my heart that it is.
We joke about the Big 12 buffet. This is almost by itself a buffet.
A buffet. Yeah. This is a small sideboard at a minimum. Okay. This is holding at this trophy. You could set down and put a dish of terrible candy on it. You know what I mean? That's what this trophy is. I love this trophy so much.
Butterscotch. Yeah.
Butterscotches. The only thing, listen, the most elite form of this candy is the strawberry candy that's in the wrapper.
I love those though.
But none of them are ever fresh.
No,
there's never been a fresh one.
They don't make them that way.
They come out old. They come out stale. They make them and then they get aged.
They age, yes, they're barrel aged.
They go barrel aged strawberry candies and then they get wrapped. Because I've bought new ones and they're not fresh.
Yeah, no, they're not. They never are.
No. So I am I love this. I'm picking Penn State here.
Okay.
Michigan State looks like crap, and I think Penn State might be figuring some things out. So I'm taking Penn State to win all the strawberry candies. That's it.
I'm going to, Carla, you get the last word on this one.
Okay.
And we mentioned Mr. Grunkenmeyer. Grunkenmeyer.
Yeah.
He looked good last week. As you said, Carla, I think he's going to be a good quarterback. The stuff that we have seen during this slide, he's a freshman. He's gonna play like a freshman, but you can also see him getting better each week.
Yeah.
And he did really, really well against a very good defense in Indiana. He is just now learning the joys of playing for the Land Grant Trophy. He saw that furniture in his grandma's house when he was growing up, and he's like, I need a piece of that. So I'm picking Penn State to win this on the road and bring. Who won this last? Did Penn State?
Penn State did, yes. So that's
Okay.
so Gregor Meyer's probably actually seen the land grant somewhere
Yeah,
in the bowels of Beaver Stadium,
Okay.
because the last time it was played, the Knicks carried it off the field in a very snowy,
Right.
East,
Right.
East
Yes.
Lansing.
Yes.
So yeah,
I'm picking Penn State. Carla, who's getting the credenza?
well, I mean, if you want to make the obvious joke here, who's granting the most land?
Hey!
That would be Michigan State's defense. So that bodes very well for Penn State. One of these teams is going to pick up its first conference win. There's a sentence for you in 2025,
Right.
because both these teams are 0-6 in the conference. Penn State absolutely has to win this game, because we want to keep the land grant trophy because it is the most beautiful trophy. But B, you got to win out to be bowl eligible, and so you gotta beat Sparty. And then you actually have it's actually a manageable path if you can pick up that win and stop the skid and start feeling good about yourself again playing football, which I think the Indiana loss, I know there's no such thing as a moral victory, but there kind of is a thing as a moral victory when you're playing with an interim head coach, and the situation there. Penn State was in that game. If they can beat Sparty, maybe they can get on a roll and win out. And if it gets them, that would get them to 6 wins. That would get them to a bowl game. And in my book, that's a successful season after all the trials and tribulations that team has been through. Yeah, Penn State's got to win this game. And I think they will.
Crappy is double muted himself.
For those of you who are listening and not watching, I have replaced my OU hat with a Ohio State hat.
That's your third hat of the evening.
It is I went to the hat I was wearing for the Miami game a week ago, hoping for some leftover mojo, and that was unsuccessful. So we're back at Ohio State.
When he switched hats, though, I was watching him do it, and I thought he was going full rally cap. I thought he was taking the hat, turning it inside out.
Thought about it.
But then I saw the Ohio State logo on the front. I was like, oh, he called a good game, and then moved on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is what we can do.
So next got a red hat and a green sweatshirt. So fa la la la.
No. Save that for after rivalry weekend. We don't play Christmas music in this house until after rivalry weekend.
Oh, I started 3 days ago.
Chestnuts roasting on it. And now, this week's large male child games we're actually going to begin on Friday. This is I don't know about implications of this game. Maybe we can call it the Who Wants It Less Bowl. But this is Clemson, 7:30 on ESPN. Clemson visiting number 20 Louisville. The Cardinals are favored by 2.5 points. The AJ Fun Index, a not so fun 49.5. Oh boy. AJ, what's going to happen with this one?
I was getting to the mute button. I am intrigued.
I was too.
I think the problem that I have is there's not. Clemson looks okay.
Mm-hmm.
Like they beat up on a not very good Florida State team. It's hilarious to say beat up on a not very good Florida State team that beat Alabama this year, and convincingly too.
Mm-hmm.
Louisville, this feels like the game where it goes sideways for a good team, and it's like Clemson. Like this is the opposite effect. I actually had this game scheduled or circled early in the season as like Clemson goes to Louisville on a Friday night. This is when it goes wrong for the Tigers.
Right.
Spoiler alert, I was right, but probably in the wrong direction. I'm taking Clemson here, and I think this is where Louisville gets tripped up on their way to a possible playoff spot. All right. I flip it and reverse it. I don't know why, but it seemed so weird to me that Clemson has played the way they have this year. Mm-hmm. And the one thing that I'm wondering about with Clemson is this going to be the thing that lights the fire under a few people to say, hey, Dabo, this whole NIL thing that you don't like, this whole portal thing that you don't like, I regret to inform you that the rest of the sport likes it. And you had the returning roster from your last team and you turned it into a 6-6 season. I'm going to need you to figure out how to use that NIL in that portal. Okay, bud? And then that's where the buyout money starts to build. That IPTE account gets drained a little bit. So that's just something I'm seeing. I find it interesting, but I'm taking Clemson here for some reason. I don't know why.
Okay. Carla, what do you think?
I think you're right to have your spidey senses raised for this one, because weird things happen in Louisville on Friday nights. Like, we've seen this over and over and over again, that you get a Louisville Friday night home game, weird stuff's going to happen. I still think this is a get right cards win, because Louisville's got the top ranked pass defense in the conference against a Clemson team that likes to throw the football. That's a strength on strength matchup. I think the Louisville defense is going to be able to slow that Clemson offense down enough to eke out a win here. But this game gets weird. But the cards win.
Okay. I mean, Louisville got itself in a position to be a player in the ACC and took a bad loss last week. I don't know how engaged Clemson is. I feel like the Cards still have a thing to play for. That plus home, I think, is going to. I'm gonna pick Louisville to win this. Not feeling good about that, but we'll see how that goes. As AJ has reminded me, ESPN will be in Pittsburgh on Saturday morning. You could watch game day live from the North Shore because of this game at noon on Saturday on the American Broadcasting Company. Number 9, Notre Dame, at number 22, Pittsburgh. This is Bino Cook's dream. This is what he had always hoped for. Notre Dame is favored by 11.5 points. The AJ Fund Index is 55.5. Carla.
Yeah.
To what did he say? To be good, you have to beat Notre Dame. What would Bino think about this game?
Yeah. Well, first of all, God bless Bino Cook. If you have no idea who we're talking about, Google him. Okay. But you still would never. It's tough to appreciate him without having heard that voice in press boxes. And trust me, I've heard it a lot.
I've only heard it on TV. I can't say I've heard it in press boxes.
It's always interesting to be in a press box with Bino Cook. Only had a couple times of doing that, but man alive, that was an experience. We're going to see how good CJ Carr really is this week. Because the Pitt defense is third in the country against the run. Third in the country against the run. And who has a really good ground game? That would be Jeremiah Love and your Notre Dame Fighting Irish. That's going to be a fascinating matchup to watch, as to whether or not Notre Dame can get anything going on the ground, or whether that Pitt defense is as good as we think it is against the run. If that's the case and the ground game is neutralized, we're going to have to see Carr in the wide receiving core. Like, that's the way that Notre Dame's going to have to win this football game. Here's the thing, though, and it's always been my knock against Pitt, is that, like, the atmosphere is never there. Like, there's not really a good home field advantage for Pitt. If there was a legit home field advantage here, I would have my spidey senses up and think about picking Pitt here. The problem is, I don't know if that's enough of a factor. Because it hasn't been a factor. I think this game is tight. I think Pitt gives Notre Dame a game, but I think Notre Dame ekes it out in the fourth quarter. I'm going to take the Fighting Irish on the road in the Mustard Bowl.
In the Mustard Bowl. AJ, what do you think?
Sorry, Bino.
Yeah.
I think this is a game that Pitt has been looking forward to all year. I really do. True. If you looked at single game ticket prices just directly from Pitt, Notre Dame was way more expensive than everything else.
Oh yeah.
In the times, Pitt doesn't sell out Heinz Field, Acrisure all that often,
right?
But they do every single time for the Notre Dame game.
Sure.
A lot of that has to do with the fact that Pittsburgh is a heavily Catholic city, and so there's a lot of people in Pittsburgh who are fans of Notre Dame. So this is a somewhat, I don't want to say 50-50 crowd, but it'll be like 75-25.
Yeah,
probably.
It's the Vanderbilt sellout.
I bet more.
It's the old Vanderbilt sellout. that Vandy Stadium would sell out because it was 50-50, if not 60-40 for the visiting team. Yeah.
I have a feeling though. You have a ranked Pitt. Pitt is ranked 22. Notre Dame ranked number 9. I think one of the things we're missing here is that this is Notre Dame's like chance to put their stamp on a game against a ranked opponent.
Yeah.
Because as we mentioned real early on in the season, they lost those first 2 games to Texas A&M and Miami by a combined 4 points. And everybody was like, why are they 0-2? They're 0-2, but they're still ranked. AP poll loves Notre Dame. It's because you lost to like 2 top 10 teams by a total of 4 points. Like that's how that works. If they went 1-1, they would be way higher in these rankings. I have a feeling though that Pitt gets up for this one. You have Notre Dame coming to your house. You're ranked. You beat Notre Dame, it becomes very interesting for Pitt. Like you're talking New Year's Six Bowl for Pitt.
Yeah.
With a team that no one saw New Year's Six Bowl on the table, especially after they lost the brawl. I'm taking Pitt at home.
Okay.
I don't know why.
Okay.
It feels like a game that they get up for. The concern I have is their offense. Their offense can be scattered, and Notre Dame has a very good defense. So if they have a good offensive game, I think that Pitt makes this real interesting, if not win. But I'm just going to take Pitt. I don't know. Vibes feel that way.
Okay. I did not actually finish my notes on this game because I could not figure out which way I'm going here. Narduzzi publicly said this week, this game doesn't matter. And in a sense, he's correct. It's not a conference game. He is at Georgia Tech and home against Miami after this. Those games matter. And Pitt controls its own destiny-ish, I think. AJ, you can correct me if I'm wrong on that. But I assume that Pitt wins those. That's at least a seat at in the conference title game. The thing that this game would do for Pitt is make a huge impression on the playoff committee. So if Pitt does get to the point where they are playing for an ACC title, I again don't know the machinations, but this is a chance for Pitt to make a huge statement. It is that AJ, you make a great point. It is that for Notre Dame as well, and none of us saw this game as a ranked on ranked matchup when we were talking about it and looking at the schedule in September.
No.
Pitt can't win this. They're good enough. Kids, talk to your children about Pitt football being good because they are. It is an entertaining team. The offense can be really, really good. The defense has been pretty consistent. Carla, as you said, against the run, and that's what Notre Dame wants to do to you. That's what they've been successful with as they grind people to death over the last few weeks. Yeah, what the hell? I'm going to take the Panthers winning this at home, and this sets them up for an incredible possible finish in the conference. But yeah, I can see the Panthers winning this game, and throwing wrenches in all kinds of things. Which would be a lot of fun.
I will say,
yeah.
There's two things at play. Number one, Pitt finishes the season with Georgia Tech and Miami. They go to Atlanta to play Georgia Tech. They get Miami at home.
Right.
The other part of this is you have are they going to put everything into the Notre Dame game and then have a letdown game against Georgia Tech? They have a letdown game against Georgia Tech. They don't make the ACC championship game. But
got no chance.
I did some quick machinations, and what they need is obviously they need to win out, and I believe that's it. If they win out, they're 7-1 in conference, and everybody else, Virginia is 7-1, and Louisville 6-2, Duke is 6-2,
sure.
And that has Louisville winning against Clemson and SMU to finish the season. So I can see Pitt has a distinct shot here. And they really just need Virginia to lose one game. Sorry, they need. Who did I have? Who did I
They
have?
just need to win.
They need.
Just need to
They
win.
just need to win.
They just need to win, and they got one of the slots.
The problem is that in their way are two of the best teams in the conference. That's the problem.
And that's a big problem.
And the other problem here is that there's been the joke for many years about the Pitt super weapon of like Pitt just goes up and just destroys somebody's season. We saw 13-9 with West Virginia. We saw it with Miami in the last game of the season where Miami was like ranked number 2.
Pitt was the original Clemsoning opponent. Carla, if I remember this correctly, there was an afternoon game where Pitt played at Clemson, beat them, and that is where we coined the term Clemsoning.
Clemsoning. Yep.
And here's the problem: the Pitt super weapon requires Pitt to not be good.
Well, okay.
It doesn't work if the team's good. It's not a super weapon at that point. It's just a regular weapon. So I think they could do it. I think they get up. I'm still taking Pitt to win here, but we cannot call this a super weapon game because Pitt's ranked. Let's settle down. You can't call it a ranked. Pitt super weapon doesn't fire if they're ranked. That's how that works.
Okay.
So
it'll be a fun one to watch. And game day on the North Shore is an interesting concept. I cannot wait to see it. Also, big nude. Fox in the friendly confines. Michigan at Northwestern. Game is being played at Wrigley Field, as Ohio State and Northwestern did a year ago. Michigan is favored by 12.5 points. The AJ Fun Index is a painful 41.5. AJ, how's this going to go?
I'm mad at this game, not because it's a conference game. Who cares? It's that they're playing at Wrigley Field. Like, I understand that they do this and it's a neat atmosphere and so on and so forth. Make Michigan play in the Erector Set Stadium.
That'd be fun.
By the lake. Like,
with
make
the
them
wind,
play there. Ohio State should have played there last season too.
It would have been fun. It would have been fun.
Like, the Wrigley games, they're a lovely distraction, and part of the reason they're doing it is because Northwestern's renovating their stadium, and they have specifically scheduled these big name games like Ohio State and Michigan because there's a ton of those graduates in Chicago, and getting them to go to Wrigleyville makes a ton of sense.
Yes.
And not having them drive all the way up to Evanston to sit in a terrible stadium next to the water. There's a reason they're doing this.
They want to wait until they can go and sit in a really nice stadium next to the water.
Correct. So I'm annoyed that they're not making them play there because Oregon played them there earlier this year.
Yes,
they didn't have Oregon wait until the Wrigley game. They're doing that for Michigan and Ohio State because the conference is a bunch of cowards. Anyways, Michigan's going to win the football game.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, Michigan. Yes, Carla. What do you?
Michigan's the pick here, but dang it all, Northwestern still needs one more win for bowl eligibility. And how amazing would it be if Northwestern goes to Wrigley and beats Michigan to get bowl eligible? Can we will that into being?
We can try.
Let's try to will that into being, but the safe pick here is Michigan.
My notes say 5-4 Northwestern will be bowl eligible this season. They're not going to get it this weekend. Michigan's going to do what it does, and that'll be it.
Just so we're clear on Northwestern's remaining schedule, they are
it's hard.
Home against Minnesota next week, and they are at Illinois to finish the season.
They will beat Minnesota. They will beat the Gophers to become bowl eligible.
Oh, because they're home, so they're by the water, so the boats are easier to. Got it.
Well, Minnesota will be tired
know how to row
having
boats as
rowed from Minnesota the length of Michigan to get to Evanston, and I don't know. I don't think that's how that works. But that's my early prediction. 3:30 on the American Broadcasting Company. Number 11 Oklahoma at number 4 Alabama. Bama is favored by 6.5 points. The AJ Fun Index is a 45.5 number. Carla, how's this going to go?
I wish I knew.
Okay.
Here's what we know. We know that Bama is legit good. We've established this. Ty Simpson has evolved into an elite quarterback worthy of that distinction. 21 touchdowns, just 1 pick on the season. He's smart with the football. Oklahoma has to be wondering what could have been had John Mateer not gotten hurt. Because here they are sitting at 8, sitting with 2 losses. they're still in great shape.
Mhm.
They're still in really, really great shape, but man, dropping Red River now really has to sting, because had you had that game, you'd be sitting here, and this would be a top 5 matchup
Mhm.
if Oklahoma had won that football game. I'm still not fully convinced that Mateer is back. I know that they went and like dropped a bunch on Rocky Top, which was very unexpected, but like he still doesn't, like, I don't think like he doesn't look the same. He doesn't look the same, and this game is in Bryant-Denny. You put this game in Norman, and I'm having second thoughts about it. But it's in Bryant-Denny. I think this game is tight, but I think Bama's the pick here.
Okay. AJ, what do you think?
Yeah, I also think Bama's the pick here. The thing I'm seeing that I'm interested to see is, remember what happened last week? Alabama just getting dragged into the mud by LSU.
Mm-hmm.
I think Oklahoma is going to do the same thing here. They have the number 1 success rate defense in the country.
Yeah.
Brent Venables is a defensive coach, and it shows. Oklahoma's defense is nasty. And Carla, I think you're absolutely right. Losing John Mateer, you lose Red River. They don't really have a path to the SEC championship game. They would need a lot of very silly things to happen, including such things as they need Florida and Mississippi State to beat Ole Miss, and they would need an upset in the Iron Bowl, and they would need Georgia to lose to Texas. And then we get into capped relative scoring margin. So in case you're wondering how deep down the tiebreaker rabbit hole we can go, I don't even know what that is.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I don't think Oklahoma's path to the SEC title game. I mean, obviously that's complicated, but their path to the playoffs still exists.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Oh, I think they can. This is something we talked about this last year, effectively with Ohio State. You didn't have to play in the championship game, which stinks because you want to win your conference and guarantee yourself a berth, but you're not guaranteed any improved spots. You're not guaranteed any improved. You're not guaranteed, like, as long as you're probably in that like top 10 range, you're making the playoff, and you get the extra week for practice, healing. Like, in my mind, like, if Oklahoma beats Alabama, that puts them into the playoff.
Yeah.
And then they're just there because they finish the season. Oklahoma finishes the season with who do they have? They have Texas and Oklahoma play. Oklahoma finishes the season with Missouri and LSU, neither of whom are ranked anymore. I think they handle Missouri pretty well. I think they handle LSU pretty well. And so you now have, like, this is your chance to like lock yourself in for the playoff and potentially say, hey, we're a 2-loss Oklahoma team is making the playoff. A 3-loss Oklahoma team, that's bubble.
No.
Yeah.
So
I don't even think about that.
I'm interested to see what Alabama does here. Their rushing success rate has not been good, but Jam Miller's back and he's been running really well. I'm taking Bama at home here. I know we just talked a lot about how Oklahoma is still in the playoff hunt and everything, but I'm taking Alabama here because I think they're just the better team right now.
Mateer has started to look better, and his running skills, a rushing game, particularly with the quarterback, is a challenging thing for Alabama's rush defense, which ranks 54th in the country. Bama's offense will be challenged as well. But Oklahoma's been too inconsistent. The injury to Mateer so derailed what could have been a really, really interesting season. Oklahoma does not have enough to keep up in Tuscaloosa. Bama wins this one, and Oklahoma, I think, is effectively done. Also at 3:30 on ESPN2, for those of you who still receive that on your streaming packages. Number 19, Virginia at Duke. Duke, The unranked Blue Devils are favored by 5.5 points. The AJ Fun Index is an actually fun 57.5. AJ, how's this going to go?
This is one that's super interesting because Duke has a path to the ACC championship game, even though they're 5-4.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to throw that out there.
Okay. They've only have one conference loss, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And it's interesting because they only have one conference loss. They have obviously the Virginia game that we're talking about right now, and then they finish with Duke and Wake Forest.
Mm-hmm.
If Duke wins out, they're in the ACC championship game as a one-loss team above SMU because I believe they played SMU already. I'm picking Duke here.
Yeah.
Like, this is their chance to knock out one of the teams that's ahead of them in Virginia. They're playing this game at home. I don't know if Anthony Calandri is going to play.
Yeah.
He was hurt, and that's a big reason. Or not Anthony Calandri. He's at UNLV.
Chandler Morris.
Chandler Morris. That's the one. Chandler Morris got hurt, and he was a big reason why Virginia has been so successful this year.
Yep.
Exactly.
I don't know what Chandler Morris' status is.
Neither does Virginia. I looked all that up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
So they're not saying that he's in concussion protocol, but everyone's assuming that he's in concussion protocol. Tony Elliott said yesterday that they hope to have him, but there's no official word yet. Okay. So that's a huge unknown here. I think that's part of the reason for the line too.
Yeah. If Chandler Morris doesn't play, I'm taking Duke.
Yeah.
Virginia did not look like the same team after he got hurt. They rely a lot on Chandler Morris being able to run, but also he is still a very, very good quarterback. He was the quarterback in North Texas last year when they were scoring like 1 billion points a game.
Yep.
I'm taking Duke.
Okay. Carla, what do you think?
Yeah. So when you don't know what Morris's status is, that's obviously a huge question mark here. His counterpart, Darian Mensah, is the ACC's leading passer, right? So the Virginia defense is going to have their work cut out for them. If the Cavs have Morris and they can get a ground game going, I think the Cavs can bounce back and win on the road here. You have to remember, Duke lost to UConn this past weekend, friends, and they didn't look great up in Connecticut. So I think there's an opportunity here for Virginia to kind of do a get right after their kind of surprising loss last weekend if Morris is back, but we don't know that. So I don't know. I'll take Virginia on the road, but there's a lot of ifs, lots of ifs in this game.
Okay. As I have watched, as I watch bits and pieces of Duke games this season, I've been impressed. It is a good team, a smart team. Obviously, they play physical football. I like what they do. I would pick Duke in this game with or without Morris. I think this is a tough spot for Virginia to come into, and would have been even without the loss a week ago. But yeah, the Blue Devils win this. They win this one at home. Also at 3:30, we don't have music for the Big Ten Network other than like maybe a Rotel commercial or something. I don't know what that would be. At 3:30,
it's the
Network.
Music from the map. It's the map commercial. It's just
that's and I love that. I love that spot.
Did you see the American conference? They're not the American Athletic Conference anymore. They're not the AAC anymore. They're just the American Conference. Just so we're clear. The American Conference, they'll trademark that. They have their own map commercial.
Boo!
It's literally like almost like a shot for shot copy. It's my favorite thing.
Come on, it's been done. Please, people. Number 21, Iowa at number 17, Southern California. The Trojans are favored by 6.5 points. The AJ Fun Index. This is definitely a nod to Iowa's defense, boys and girls, because the Fun Index is 49.5. Carla, how's this going to go?
Yeah, so we mentioned top of show, Iowa dragged Oregon down into the slop, and yet the Ducks found a way to break their hearts at Kinnick. And now the Hawkeyes have to go across the country to play Jaden Mayava and a potent USC offense. Um, and the downside for Iowa here, weather's not going to be an issue. Like, let's be real. Part of the reason why the Iowa-Oregon game was as close as it was because it was gross. It was raining. It was a sloppy field. It was like that's why that game that's not happening in the Coliseum, friends.
No.
I think the fun index is indeed a nod to the Iowa defense, but no, I think the pick here is USC at home.
AJ, what do you think?
I'm just doing a quick check of the forecast for Los Angeles, and now also thinking about the Lewis Black joke of the easiest job in the world is to be the weatherman in San Diego. Hey, let's go to Lewis for the weather. What's it going to be? Nice. Back to you. However, no, get out of town.
No, it's going to rain.
Iowa's bringing the weather machine.
No,
the forecast right now has a half inch of rain per hour.
Holy crap! Yeah, okay.
Iowa brought the weather machine.
I'm picking Iowa.
I'm picking
Here
Iowa.
We go. Here we go.
If it's raining, I'm taking Iowa. Yes.
Hold on. I'm just checking. Yeah, it's supposed to rain all weekend. I'm looking at 6 different forecast models, and 5 of the 6 have rain in the forecast.
And AccuWeather says sunny and 61.
Because AccuWeather is a for-profit company. Get them out of here. Get them out of here. They're trying to ruin the National Weather Service too. Get them out of here. I'm looking at the ECMWF, which is the European model, a very accurate model, and I'm seeing 10 a.m., 1 p.m., 4 p.m., 7 p.m. It's supposed to rain all day on Saturday. We're going here for free dumb data. That's what we're doing.
The National Weather Service agrees there is definitely a pattern locked in over Southern California because it is solid rain from Thursday through Saturday night. High of 62. Chance of showers, partly sunny. High near 62. Saturday night, chance of showers. Maybe before. Yeah, so it doesn't sound like the National Weather Service. It's not going to be raining all the time, but this is not southern sunny California.
No, we're getting a sloppy game in the Coliseum, and for which I don't think USC is prepared for.
No. If it's sloppy,
you know who is prepared for it? Iowa. They have slop. It's a sloppy game, but warmer. That's a vacation. This is a spa day for Iowa. What are you talking about? I'm taking Iowa.
If it's raining, the hell yeah, I'm picking Hawkeyes. Yeah, absolutely. If it's not, the pick is Southern Cal here. But bad weather.
Yeah.
Come on.
This is also a partial haters pick. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
Because I watched that Northwestern USC game, and Jaden Mayava had a hustle play. And in said hustle play, he stopped a scoop and score touchdown of a very large man wearing a jersey that started with a number 9. And he got the player to fumble the ball out of the end zone. And the announcers were just all over. Oh, look at Jaden Mayava just hustling down, not letting the play go. You stopped a big man touchdown. For that, I'm a hater. I'm sorry, USC. You're losing every game for the rest of the time.
Okay. That's fair.
That's how that works.
That's fair.
You stopped the thick 6. I'm out.
So I think if I'm hearing this correctly, raining, we're picking Iowa. Not raining, we're picking Southern Cal. Right? Is that where we all stand?
I'm picking Iowa either way.
Oh, yeah. Sweet. Okay.
This feels like a very stupid game for USC.
We are all on the Hawkeyes bandwagon, and that leaves us one more big boy game. 7:30 on the American Broadcasting Company. The number 10 Texas Longhorns visit the number 5 Georgia Bulldogs. The Puppies are favored by 6.5 points. The AJ Fun Index is a not so fun 48.5. AJ, how's this going to
go? The Shutdown Fullcast had a joke about Arch Manning, and they play Vanderbilt, and in the process of playing Vanderbilt, Arch Manning activates. It's like he looked at Diego Pavia and went, "Oh, that's what a quarterback's supposed to do." And then turned into like he activated and like mutated into like the Arch Manning that everybody's wanted all season.
Mm-hmm.
We will see if the mutation has taken full hold against Georgia.
Okay.
This game is at DKR, I believe.
No, it's in
At Georgia.
Athens.
At Georgia.
Yeah.
Oh, it's in Athens. Oh,
Yeah.
I really.
Between the
Between
shrubbery.
hedges.
The shrubbery.
I'm still taking Texas
Okay.
entirely because Georgia is going to play that stupid sound on third down, and that one.
Yeah.
And the funny part of this is Georgia. I don't think their first game that I think I've seen them play like a complete just we are going to win the game against a non like G5 or FCS opponent was against Mississippi State. They went into Starkville and just took a hold of that game and didn't let go. I'm interested to see what they do here because they have been basically playing like catch up all year long. Like every first quarter, they're playing from behind. They don't get a good start. And then Gunnar Stockton just goes crazy in the fourth quarter and they win the game. And that's the type of stuff that wins playoff games. So I do not wish well for anybody who's going to see Georgia in the playoff.
Right.
But in the regular season, I think this is where they need to like. That's what happened with Alabama. They got behind against Alabama and they just could not keep up.
Right.
And then Alabama shut down all of that late game heroic stuff that they used to beat Tennessee. That they're probably going to use to beat Texas. So I'm going to take the dogs, and I think it's going to be a squeaker. But I think Arch Manning may have fully activated after seeing Diego Pavia.
Okay, Carla, what do you think?
I hate to say this, friends, but hammer the under here. Like the one thing that we know for sure about Texas is they play really good defense, especially on the line and against the run. Right? They're not as stealthy against the pass, but that's not really as big of a flaw going up against Georgia because they're not necessarily like they're not your prolific passing team, right? Gunner can hit a couple deep ones, but like that's not their forte. Arch is fine. We're finding out what Arch is. Gunner is fine. Both of these defenses are good. That's the reason why you hammer the under. Here's what like made my decision for me. Texas is second in the conference in turnover margin at +10. Georgia is -2. I think Texas does something real silly here and forces a couple of turnovers, forces Gunner into a couple of mistakes.
Okay.
Horns win on the road.
Ooh, I like it. I like it. Texas's offense is turning into what we thought it would be. That's Arch activating. That is a very inexperienced offensive line at the outset of the season, kind of starting to gel. The defense is as good as it has been all season. If you look at how that balances out against Georgia, it's a little the defense versus Georgia's offense is a little difficult to figure out because Georgia's offense doesn't seem to show up until after halftime. Although they had a better start a week ago, and then this is not a Kirby defense. This is not a typical Georgia defense. I think Texas is kind of peaking at the right time here, or getting there. The other thing is, and we've talked about this before. Watching Kirby on the sidelines is simultaneously hysterical and maddening. You guys may or may not know an author named Dan Jenkins, longtime sports writer, wrote a novelist, all basically about being a sports writer. There's one novel called "You Got to Play Hurt" where he gets into personalities of people in different sports, and it's been, in my limited experience, remarkably accurate. And he describes a college football coach who basically on game day is so out of his mind that the program is run by assistants while the head coach runs up and down the sidelines frantically waving arms and shouting at officials and trying to figure out what's going on. I don't think that's what Kirby's doing, but it looks like that's what he's doing. It would be hugely entertaining to watch Kirby suffer through a loss to Texas at home. That is the second reason why I am picking Texas to win this game on Saturday night.
Kirby Smart is the reason why they changed the overtime timeout rules,
Yes.
because he was being
Yes.
such a
And-
whiny little turd about it.
God, that was the best thing that happened to college football in the last year, because it was the Georgia Tech game.
It was the Georgia Tech game.
That went into the 57
Thanksgiving.
overtimes. Oh,
And it took 7 hours because
Yes.
Kirby wouldn't stop calling timeouts.
Yes.
Because he was like, every single play, it's like, okay, they're going to line up. All right, now I'm going to call my timeout. Because he got a new timeout every single period. So I think they took that out and you get it like every other period now in an attempt to stop that nonsense. And then there was also the thing in the Auburn game where he's very clearly calling timeout and then somehow convinces the refs that, no, I was clapping.
I was not.
Clapping. I was not clapping. Kirby Smart, gaslighting little turd. I hope Texas wins by 40. Like, I don't even want to cheer for Texas because it's annoying to cheer for Texas. But Kirby, you little bitty, you keep doing this.
Yes. Hugely entertaining. Boys and girls, you can hear the Carla and Crappy Show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, and a variety of other podcasting hosts. You can watch us on YouTube and on the show's Facebook page. If you like it, watch us both places. That'd be awesome. You can read us on our Substack. If you like us, if you read us, Carla generally, I think Carla's written all the show notes this year. I don't think I haven't written any. They are freaking amazing.
You should absolutely read the show notes.
Go read them. Go read them. If you like us, please subscribe, rate, and review. If you don't, mind your own damn business. Be sure to come back next week to see exactly how wrong we were. Guys, do we have final thoughts? AJ? What else? What else is on your radar?
I do. We have to take a quick peek at FCS because last week we had Dakota State versus Dakotas. North Dakota State beat North Dakota 15-10 in a good, proper Christian football score. South Dakota State went to South Dakota and lost 24-17, which means that South Dakota State has lost 3 in a row for the first time in a very, very long time. They lost to North Dakota State, then they lost to Indiana State, and then they lost to South Dakota.
They lost to the Sycamores. Oh, boy. That's rough. That's rough.
South Dakota State still ranked number 15 in the FCS poll. They get Illinois State number 13 at home, which means they will be the lower ranked team in a home game for the first time since, North Dakota State, that was 1-2, but that's there. Currently receiving a first place vote, though, in the FCS coaches poll as we turn our attention to next week is Montana. They host they go to Portland State. The game I really wanted to pick on was number 3 Montana State hosting UC Davis at number 10 UC Davis. That is at 10:30 on ESPN2. We got Big Sky on national TV. You should absolutely watch that. The Big Sky always produces good games. We also have number 14 Lamar going to number 17 Stephen F. Austin, coming off of a win against previous number 14 Southeastern Louisiana 14-12. And finally, Youngstown State, your Penguins are now up to number 19 after beating Southern Illinois at home 48-38, and they face the Sycamores of Indiana State at home. So
that would have been a fun game against the Salukis.
Yes. So we have a lot of very interesting matchups going forward. You also have number 22 South Dakota coming off of their win against South Dakota State, hosting said Salukis of Southern Illinois, who are at number 23. So a number of good FCS games. Throw those into the rotation.
Okay.
We're creeping up on the end of the season. Next week is Brawl of the Wild, which is Montana State, a game I'm desperate to go to. And then we get into the FCS playoff games. So FCS playoffs coming soon. End of the season for FCS is coming up. End of the season, I believe D3 is done.
After this weekend, yes. The selection show. There is actually selection show on Sunday that you can watch to get the playoffs started.
And D2 is also coming up on the end of their season as well. So the FBS season goes to the end of November, but the FCS and FCS D2 D3 end after this week, and then their playoff season begins because they have a 2014 playoff because they're good and proper and freedom and loving Americans.
Carla, what are you going to be watching this weekend?
And just a couple things here. Robert Morris is
Bob.
AJ back in our stomping grounds. Robert Morris at Mercyhurst.
Okay.
That game is at noon Eastern and it's going to be on NEC Front Row. It is not on ESPN Plus. I checked. So unfortunately, the snow is going to be gone by the time that they play on.
Boo.
They got. My parents are reporting 7 inches of snow. I have a snowman photo.
That's not bad for November.
Not terrible. No, for a first snow, that's not bad at all. And it's going to be gone by like Thursday because it'll be warm. So, so that game's worth keeping an eye on. Bob's trying to desperately turn its season around, but it's waning very quickly here. I would be remiss if I didn't at least mention the fact that, friends, it's 100 miles of hate. MTSU at Western Kentucky. That game is at 3:30. You can watch it on ESPN Plus. It's not going to go well for my Blue Raiders, I don't think, but that game is happening, and it's one of the best rivalries in Conference USA. A better Conference USA game that you should definitely put your eyeballs on because it is on national television at 8 p.m. on ESPNU. Kennesaw goes to Jacksonville State. Those are the top 2 teams in CUSA right now. Both those teams, it could be a playoff or a preview of the conference title game. It should be if everything plays out the way it should. Both teams played with their food last week. They were playing like bottom tier teams, and they both won by 3. Right. I think the pick here is Jacksonville State at home. If you have not watched Cam Cook run the football, please go watch Cam Cook run the football. Okay. He reminds me a lot of Jeremiah Love. He has the same running style. Once he hits a crease, he's gone. And he's impossible to tackle. Just a lot of fun to watch other than when he was running all over Floyd over my Blue Raiders. Kennesaw is fine, but not spectacular defensively against the run. So I'll take Jacksonville State at home in that one. But yeah, that's a good CUSA game to keep your eye on in the primetime window.
Okay. A couple things beyond what we've discussed for me. Carnegie Mellon, unranked. They are headed to Ursinus. Ursinus. Is it Ursinus? My sinuses are hating me right now. It may be that Carnegie Mellon Ursinus, they have equal records. They're both in a similar position in the Centennial Conference. There is no path for Carnegie Mellon to get to a conference title in his first season, but a big win might get them one of the 15 or so at-large bids in the D3 playoffs. If you are interested in that selection, you can stream that at ncaa.com. I think it was at 5 p.m. on Sunday. Probably more entertaining than watching Sunday football. So give that a look. Big win might get CMU into that playoff. We'll see how that goes. Ohio University. I would think I have not looked at all. We'll check and see what conference play. It might be 2 conference losses is tough. But they play their once again on a Tuesday night while we are taping. They host UMass, final home game of the season. You can get, if you order. No, sorry, we're too late. They were selling $6 tickets for that game to get people there. But so anyway, Bobcats against UMass next week. And then they finish up on the Friday of Thanksgiving weekend against Buffalo. We'll get into that one in a little bit. Ohio State has quite a history. There is a romantic, old-fashioned part of me that thinks it's really cool that Southern Cal and UCLA are in the Big Ten. And when I looked at the schedule this year, it's like UCLA is coming to Columbus. I've seen those games. I've seen Kenny Easley. Those were classic matchups. This is not going to be that. But it is prime time. And Ohio State is favored, I think, by 32.5. So watch on NBC if you want to do that. You can join me. I will. That is what I will be doing. I will have the other TV on other stuff, but yeah, that is a very cool old school. I still hold grudges because UCLA beat Ohio State in the Rose Bowl after the 75 season, after the 79 season. Both of those would have been national titles for Ohio State. Both of them. So Bucks and Bruins on Saturday night. That's going to be fun. But guys, it's all fun. We're halfway through November. As of this weekend, we are a couple weeks away from conference title games. We have rivalry games coming up. Do not miss college football. It's not easy because of the Disney YouTube. Figure it out, guys, because there's too much stuff going on. Carla and AJ, thank you again so much. I'm oddly stoked for what's coming up this weekend and for everything else we have coming this season. Bullapalooza is not that far away. It's a month, 1 month. Bullapalooza in a month. Thank you guys, AJ and Carla. Thank you guys for everything you do for the show, for the reading, for the watching, for the listening. Watch some games this weekend. Not much left. There's only a couple regular season weekends left, and then the fun begins, guys. So don't miss anything. Thank you for being here. Enjoy the weekend, and we will see you back here next week. Cheers, everyone.
Cheers.
Go Bobcats. Ugh.